Welcome to Oirat Clock EU4 guide. Today we are going to play as the strongest Horde in the game, Oirat. Playing as a Horde is kinda different to a normal playthrough. Instead of building buildings and develop a nation, you'll be at war at all time at all costs. Because the main source of income and monarch points for host people is for the raising of province. That being said, follow me lead to a raid-like world conquest. Playing as Oirat, you have two really expensive routes for beginners. The first one is to bend the knee to the Emperor of China, become the tributary and slowly expanding to the tributaries. This is one per se, or the true Giga Chad Genghis one. Oirat has quite a few options right from the start, with 2 stacks of army with too much infantry to our liking and a subject with French attitude. We're gonna start by bringing our troops to the border of Ming. Diplomatic wise, we will have the close tribes as ally options, but in this video I will prove that no ally is the best ally. Start improve relations with your rebellious subject and build a spy network in the Ming. As for the states, we're gonna use a simple trick that not much of you are aware of. Start by recruiting troops. Take a loan to completely deprive your manpower. Summon the deity, then choose the only one, which is to recover manpower. Just cancel the recruitment of the troops. Exploit the development in the following province, and you will be able to complete the diet as the day tick. Just remember to do that before choosing your privilege. As for the privilege, go for greater autonomy for chieftains and larger tribal hosts. Later down the line, we're going to grant the leadership of the host for the general boost. Then sell the titles and seize land. Recruit the new acquired advisor and set your rivals to Uzbek and Chagatai. As a tank nation, you have some unique decisions to pick. For now, go for Yellow Shamanism, and wait to have one stability before picking the Vision quest, since that will increase your stability cost. When Ming starts asking you to become their tributary, ignore, just like they will do to you. As for our preparation, start to recruit cavalry to enforce the limit and a free company as well. At that point in the game, we already have 100% cavalry to infantry ratio, because of religion and government. Start to improve relation with Timurids for further expansion paths, and bring the new troops to the Emperor border. After you finish the war preparations, go ahead and declare for the Mandate of Heaven. Don't be afraid of the massive armor of Ming. I will show you that Ming troops are no more menacing than kids fighting cannons with nerve guns. As for the war itself, we're not gonna be aiming for province, but for the head of the Ming ruler. That being said, declare war for the Mandate of Heaven. Since, even if you don't plan on becoming the Emperor, the casus belli itself will enable us to take huge amount of land in just one go, with the half cost province modifier. After the war starts, move your troops back a little bit and change the focus of your rebellious subject to defensive, because even if they don't plan on helping us, defending their own province will always be their primary choice of action. During the war, the French attitude probably will fade away. As I said, our primary goal is not to occupy province, but to aim for the head of the Ming ruler. Try to catch the stack that he's the general of. Doing that, we will start a chain of events involving the Tumult crisis. For that reason, I'm going to try baiting him into a fight. After a bit of harsh time walking around Mongolia, I was able to engage his army. Don't be afraid of the massive reinforcement. Just engage with both of our stacks and leave all the hard work to the horsemen. And just like that, a devastating victory to our side, and the first of the most game-breaking event in the game. Granted us, first of all, 20% army morale and 25% siege ability until the death of our godlike Hura, that will stack with the spy network that we are building the whole game. When we siege down the main capital, I will show you something interesting. Make sure to kill the remaining stacks of main to stop the carpet siege into your holdings. Then march down to Beijing. Remember to preserve your own manpower as much as possible. Detach some of your troops from the siege and let the Free Company bar down the Emirates. At that point, it's just a matter of simply waiting to the siege to fall. After a few months, you already are able to secure a royal marriage with the Timurids, putting yours a step closer to our future alliance. The capital of Beijing will automatically switch to control all provinces in the North China and Mongolia owned by Ming. On top of that, the mandate of Ming will tank out to zero, making their troops strong as piece of paper in the rain. So don't be afraid and bring back your troops and fight the remaining Ming stacks. Like I said, after a few years in the game, Mongolia will change their French attitude, rebellious. So make sure to secure the royal marriage to make it easy to keep them in check. After dealing with the unrightful occupation of your land, march down to the fort of Nanjing. Remember to kill every stack of Ming in the way. Engage without shifting consolidating your troops, so they can fight with full strength. With the fort in our control, we can start by preparing our peace deal. First of all, full money, to help with our monetary situation. Then, the annoying fort in your border. Then, sneak the way to the side of the remaining forts in that way. As we lack just a little bit of our score to get our 100%, what we're going to do is carpet siege around that province. To do that, first shift consolidate your troops, then press D multiple times until only one is left over. So send which one of them to a province around the first one. And just like that, we are able to win the first war against Ming. After the war, our focus will be on consolidating. For that, we're gonna use another simple trick for purpose of making money. For that, we'll need to call back our second diplomat and wait for the month tick. Dismiss the garrison in the forts. and grab the peace demand. Before we can continue, the first thing you're gonna do is raise all the land you can. Don't be bored to record that right away, since we're gonna do a second instant war in Ming, attacking one of the tributaries. Before we can continue, make sure to accept feudalism in your nation to get rid of the malus in the tech costs. Tech up in whichever technology you can. With the raising, monarch points will really not be a problem. And finally, pay all of your loans. Buy down the war exhaustion as well. With just like that, you're going to be in a really bad spot. With the situation a little smoother, you're going to take your attention in the Manchu tribes in the east of our subject. Look that neither of them really had a strong military at that point. The one that we're gonna declare for now is Korti. Both for the province required to the formation of Great Yuan and for the access to the rest of Manchuria region. When the war starts, immediately go for the zero garrison forts, which the occupation will turn to you in the first siege tick, due to the no defenders. Send another stack to stand in their capital to buy down their war attitude. With both forts in your control, just demand the amount of money that you can. For me, it's around 1900s. With our renewed bank account, time to focus on courting. And you might know what they say. Inflation is just a number. With Ming out of the picture, raise the remaining province and make care of them. Bit by bit, make sure to keep consolidating your infantry stacks. Almost all cavalry will be the setup that we aim for. As always, make sure to keep your stacks close and target the isolated army if you can. Do not fear, at a point in the game, none of our neighbors is really a threat. Our massive 20% cavalry compatibility with the amount of troops that we can pay is gonna make killing banners a kid job. After decimating a bunch of courting troops, what we're gonna do is to carpet siege our tribal fellow. As for his ally, just stand in the capital and occupy the rest of the province, which will be just enough to peace them out. After the siege ends, make sure to full annex them, that will give us a nice border with the rest of the tribes, so we can conquer them later. If you're unlucky, just like me, something like that maybe is going to happen. To our west, a Horde Hugbucks was formed with Uzbek, Chagatai and Nogai. It's not a really impossible war, but for the sake of simplicity, we're going to stick with the Asia region for now. If in your game they rival each other, which is the common case, feel free to attack Chagatai first and Uzbek later down the line. After the first 10 years of the game and you prove the relation to at least 119, start the annexation of Mongolia. Will be indeed a slow process, but one that will unlock half of our mission tree. For your first government reform, pick Martial Society. As preparation to our second war against Ming, recruit cavalry to at least your force limit. Slowly but surely, we're going to allocate our manpower out to the horse people. As for our monarch points, we're going to spend developing the shit out of Yu Chang for the sake of spawning the institution. Upgrade the Center of Trade and choose the State Edict to encourage development. Spend first your diplo and military points, and if needed, click a few times with admin. You don't need to embrace right now if you can't buy any technology, just wait to spread it a little bit. After our truce with Ming ended, declare for the Mandate of Heaven again. With the mandate at 0, Ming opposed no threat to our force, so just siege the hell out of them in order to secure our peace deal as soon as possible. If Ming got declared by another nation, try to block the siege path by occupying the province before they can. Carpet siege everything you can after secure the area. And by taking the fort close to the capital, just rush the war goal. At that point, Ming is just a piece of cake waiting you to bite. If you're feeling lucky, recruit a general. Just don't be me, okay? With Ming capital down, we can now focus on occupying the rest of the nation. In just more few months, we'll be able to enforce all demands in the Empire of China. As for the peace deal, something like that would be just fine. When the Ming explosion starts, that will make us borrow basically every single state that will pop up of Ming. Pick max money on top of that, because the Bank of China is just about to go dry. After acquiring the right amount of war score, don't even bother to kill the Ming stacks. Just peace out as soon as possible. And just like that, our second war against Ming is won. Now focus on doing your hard shenanigans, raise all provinces you can, and guard everything. At that point, we can already embrace the institution and catch up with the tax. From now on, after defeating Ming for the second time, we're going to attack the Manchu tribes and slowly consolidating the China region. To form Yuan, first of all you need to conquer the highlighted province, and then you have two choices. The first and boring one. Take the mandate to yourself and become a monarch. Or the second one. To purge the mandate by annexing the emperor and become a hard Yuan. Truly the only right choice. By forming Yuan, you're gonna get a new idea set, and that will change your culture into the Chinese group, making all Chinese provinces accepted to your nation. After reaching Tech 5, we will unlock our first idea group. For that, I have two suggestions. If you are a beginner player, go for Humanists, as that will help you with the stability of your country by a lot. If you have some experience or wanna do the hardcore way, pick Horde idea. Since it's just too much of a tailor-made case for a playstyle as that nation. Horde will give you cavalry to infantry ratio, a massive 33% cavalry cost reduction, aggressive expansion impact to make big conquests easier, religious unity, land attrition, national unrest, caravan power, max promoted culture, and after completing an insane 25% cavalry combat ability. I'm going to pick Horde idea in my playthrough. In that case, I recommend you to pick the first one right away, even if you are close to the Miltech 6. The cavalry cost is just too good to pass by. Around the 20 early years of the game, your nation should look something like that, with your influence in China growing yet strong, and your subjects in the way to be annexed. The next victims you should target is the Manchuria region. Try to get them at once, and after consolidating the Far East, you can just go after the Tatar region, beating up Chagatai and Uzbek in that order. Our overall economy haven't grown at all, but that is just a case of not having enough trade influence in the Chinese region. Hordes tend to be poor by nature. With your yuan formable, we're going to gain even goods produced to help a little bit with your trade and production. Speaking of ideas, our starting idea is one of the strongest initial sets of the game. 20% core creation cost is not something to be underestimated. The 20% cavalry compatibility on top of that is just a great boost to become one of the fearsome army in the beginning. The rest of your ideas are in fact quite nice, but just a yearly version of the overpowered yuan ideas, with even more core creation costs and admin efficiency to help with the large expansion. We still have 10% cavalry costs and a +1 land leader maneuver, 20% land attrition reduction, some boost to our hard unity, aggressive expansion impact, discipline and manpower recovery speed, 25% national manpower, and +1 land leader shock as our ambition. We'll build up a quite powerful army, with space and funds to be expanded. As the game passes, try to switch all of your infantry to cavalry. We do have the cavalry to infantry ratio to do that. As for the government reform, we should later on pick religious society for the stability costs and religious unity. Retain the tribal hierarchy if you need help with the governing capacity and absolutism in the future, or centralized power to gain a little bit of core creation costs. For the last reform, Barbaric Despoiler is the only real option with the raising power gain. From now on, what you should be doing is following the expansion path present in your mission tree. Annex your subject, and you'll be getting claims as the game progresses to help you with your conquests. Even give you Province War score reduction and national unrest later down the line. Just by following the clans of your mission tree, you can easily form the Mongol Empire in all of its glory. So, you make all the way here, huh? It's not like I have a problem with that, of course. In fact, I must thank you for the patience. It's just my first video, but I did put quite an effort in trying this. So, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate it a lot. See ya!